Ladies and gentlemen, judging by the title of this video, I think you figured out by now that this video is a little bit different. I'm going to be going over some very famous, potentially famous games that you might have heard of or not. But we're going to be looking at it in a different way. We're going to be taking a look primarily at famous blunders in famous games. So actually the first game on this list is the game in the World Championship in 1972 between Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer. So that's kind of like how this video is going to roll. And make sure you stick to the end, because the game, especially at the end, is very crazy and you do not want to miss that. So without further ado, let us get right into it. Okay. So as I said, game one is between Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer. I kind of want to flip this around. Actually, no, we're looking at this from, I think from Fischer's, right? No, we're looking at this, no. Let's actually look at this from Fischer's perspective. He's playing black. All right, here we go. D4, knight of 6. And again, I'm going to be going through the whole game, and then I will be pausing it at the time when the blunder or bad move or whatever happened, and at that time you will have 1 minute to guess what move was played, and then I will show what's played, or maybe we'll go to like 30 seconds or something. But here, anyway, knight to f6, c4, and e6. We have like a Nimzo Indian kind of thing. Knight f3, and now d5. This is called like I forget I think it's like, might be like the Rubinstein, but I don't know for sure. Knight to c3 and bishop to b4. This is just a classical way to play the Nimzo Indian, pinning the knight. Now e3, castles, bishop to d3, and castles, knight to c6. Kick the bishop out. Fischer maintains the pin. Now knight to e2, the knight can move because it's no longer pinned to anything. D takes c4, bishop takes, bishop to b6 now. And if you take a look at the position, I mean, it's both sides are okay. Black has the blocked light square bishop, but other than that, they have, I would say, a couple more eyes in the center. The queen is, the queens are almost the same, I would say, for both sides, but we have the two knights more in the center. I would say very much more in the center for black, although white has the very nice bishop and black has the not so nice bishop. But now we trade, and we take here, and now the dark square bishop for black is fine. And I mean, if anything, this is probably pretty equal. Now b4, the bishop goes back to e7, and now bishop to b2, bishop to d7. We just centralize the rooks. Now knight takes, and we have this move bishop to a4 that hits the bishop, or the rook. We Spassky blocks. Bishop takes, knight takes. We have a trade. Now we go here, and we're threatening some potentially not very nice things. Spassky, instead of going h2 to, sorry, I meant king. Instead of going h2, which would, permanently prevent any kind of a back rank opportunity, instead goes king f1, king to f8 now, and he brings the king in, which I've never seen before, so I guess early, I don't know, it's just a 20-second move. Rook to c1, trade. If it were me, okay, again, this is such a hypothetical because I am most definitely not these players. I mean, I am like the farthest thing from these players. I mean, they're playing the World Championship, for crying out loud. Anyway, again, yeah, I probably wouldn't have traded if I was black, but again, they know so much more. But again, if I'm not trading, I'd have to go rook to d8, because everything else is just crazy. You wouldn't do anything else. Rook to d8, And then you have to be very careful with your king. So maybe I would trade. I don't know. We have a trade. Bishop takes. F6 now. Knight to A5. Knight to D6. And bishop to D8. Knight to C4. Okay, so we have knight takes C6. Bishop takes. Now Spassky plays B5. And here's where I'm going to start the clock. And you guys can have, let's say, 30 seconds to a minute to guess where the blunder happens for black. And if you don't know, or if you already know, that's fine. Just play along. Yeah, it's fine. All right, I'm going to stop it there. If you figured it out, good job. If you didn't, I'll go over it now. Some of you might be thinking, oh, you know, he took the pawn. But no, actually, it's a lot more serious of a blunder, I would say. And actually, this is very funny. First of all, I'll show you the move. The move is actually bishop takes h2, which at first makes sense, I guess, for some people, because you win a pawn. But I mean, Spassky just goes g3, and now the bishop is trapped. And one interesting thing about this is people still wonder why that happened. And I mean, some people just think, he just, his mind just slipped or something. But the interesting thing is this was the first time he'd ever done a move like this, ever, like at all levels of playing. And he never did this again. This was the first and last time he ever did a move this bad, because he just lost a piece. And now all that Spassky needs to do is, after he goes h5, he can just walk the king, and he takes, and now he has a bishop for 2 pawns. And I mean, he has more pawns, but I mean, white has a bishop, a4, and the bishop just controls squares, key squares. And yeah. Yeah. Not much more to say. He resigned. Because he can't take the white pawn. And I mean, white is just gonna walk the king. So in this case, king d6. You can just go here, and you can go. Oh, you can't go there. No, you'll have to go. You have to go back, and then you can just take. Sorry, he just tried to eat his own pawn. After that, I mean, it's not pleasant. So if you guessed the move, good job. If you didn't, that's fine. Again, the move happened back here. Bishop takes h2, move 29, and he actually played like 28 more moves, I think. This is like halfway through the game. And he still played half the game. So yeah, that was game number 1. So let's get into game number 2. Okay, so for game 2, game 2 is a little bit more interesting because it's a longer game, and the blunder slash bad move, I guess, isn't a lot more obvious until later on in the game. So the bad move came at like move 31, and this whole game is like 60 plus moves. So just buckle up, and again, we're gonna go through the whole game. So this is between Topalov and Kramnik in the Topalov World Championship in 2006. So here we go. Oh, also, some of you might know, I don't know if you know this, but Kramnik has, in the past, I don't know totally right now, but he has accused a few chess personalities and whatnot of cheating. and malicious, not malicious, but somewhat interesting play, I should say, on especially like online tournaments such as Title Tuesday or Bullet Brawl or whatever. But actually, besides cheating or besides accusing people of cheating, he's actually a chess player. So just thought you guys should know that he's not just an accuser of something. He's also a chess player. I know one time he was the world champion. So there you go. Okay, here we go. D4, D5, C4. My favorite opening. Kramnik goes for the Slav, like this, but now it's the exchange Slav. Bishop F5, E3. Typically, it's good to get the dark square bishop out first, but here, in this case, you don't really have anywhere for it to go. So instead we go E3, we take the pawn back with the light square bishop. Bishop D4, this is all just like theory and whatever, it's just like all been played before. Castles. Knight B7. Queen E2, E4. Bishop goes back to D3, bishop H5. And now we have the pawn going forward in the middle, attacking knights and stuff. Knights have to go back. Instead chooses to go to D5. We have knight takes and C takes. The point is, if we were taken with the E pawn, then there could have been some ideas to create a pawn storm. No, I'm kidding. Just like a pawn break or something in the center, maybe. C takes D5. Now Queen E3. Knight to G5. Rook E8. So Kramnik might think of, and maybe go F6 in the future, possibly. I don't know. This is just me talking. Rook C8 is always a good move. Yeah, generally just kicking out the knight. The knight is kind of annoying there. It's not doing a whole lot, but it is keeping eyes on stuff, which is kind of annoying for black. For white, possibly just getting rid of that dark square bishop. So like maybe bishop to D2, or place pawns on dark squares, and you're doing pretty well. Then bring the rook. If the rook doesn't go to C8, bring the rook to C1. But instead we have F4, bishop takes, queen takes, and now F5, and bishop to E3 instead of a en passant, which you could have played. It was not played because Kramnik wants to lock down the position. Lock it down like a nice, I don't know, prison or something. What do you lock down these days? I don't know. You don't really need to lock down anything, I guess. Because no matter how much you try and lock it down, some bot will always try and will break into it. Why even try? Why not just go back to the honor system of believing that no one will take advantage of your stuff? But then again, people don't really like to trust people. They like to just trust themselves. And again, I'm not necessarily choosing one side or the other, but again, how did we even get into this conversation again? Oh, from locking down, I guess. That was a weird transition. Bishop to E3. Knight to F8. King H1, I mean, the point of that is white just doesn't want to suffer any kind of weird things on the diagonal with the dark squares. Makes sense. Rook to C8, and again, make sure you stick to the end. That last game is gonna be crazy. Make sure you stick to the end. It's gonna be great. G4, Queen to 7 now. Rook to G1. These are all just improving moves, not very crazy. Yeah, the great move is coming up soon, so gonna be ready for that. Okay, so H takes G6. So Topalov just gives away a queen. Alright, folks, so the mistake A mistake for white happened right now. Here we go. See if you can guess it. I can give you guys the full 30 or the full minute. It might be a little harder. Again, this one isn't as obvious as the other one, so just keep that in mind. Three, two, one. All right. If you didn't guess it, the move is G takes. The reason is that you might be getting a knight, but you get a queen, right? We get a queen here. After queen G6 check, you simply block, and the queen protects the rook. Okay. So now black has a rook and 2 pawns for a knight. F5. Now rook E7. Here. Okay. So this is a fork of the bishop. Okay, right here. This is a fork. I don't know if I need to be drawing arrows. This is a fork of the bishop and rook. But instead of sacking or whatever, black instead goes here. Because the point is, if you take here, you can go here, right? And if you go here, you can go here, right? Just one idea. So you can't take. So now we have queen takes g4 instead, rook f7, so it stops the pawn. And you can take the bishop. You can't take the bishop because, I mean, you'll just be getting another bishop in return. White will, or black will. Rook to c1 now. Attempting some pretty nasty things. We offer a trade, which white goes here and checks first because you get another check. Again, this is so genius by Kramnik in this case, just forcing. Okay, he could have just taken. It would have been so easy to just take, right? But instead, he gives a check because he knows when he takes, he'll be given another check, and he's like forcing his opponent to play by his rules. Like he's giving the check and he's forcing his opponent. I think that's just a cool thing, yeah. King g3, queen e4, bishop at f4 blocking, queen f5, trade, and now bishop to g5, a5, walk the pawn, we stop the pawn, but we go bishop to f8 to, you know, keep our pawn there. Sorry if I'm eating a lot, I'm just hungry. Also notice that white gave away the bishop. That's because the rook was coming, and if they didn't sacrifice, and if they would have just moved, then you would have gone there, and then it would have been pretty nasty things going over here and here and here. It would have been pretty nasty. So instead, Topolov just decides to resign. Not resign. Give up the bishop. Bishop takes a3, king e5, and I mean he's on the way to making a queen. Rook e1 though. Here we sack the bishop because we're picking up the other pawn, and now we just have a rook for a knight, and I mean it's just easy money now. Here you can stop the pawn, and yeah. So Topolov does in fact resign here, but I mean it was a very nice win or black. All starting from this move here. Right? This move. He could have just taken the pawn with the rook and kept the pressure on there. And then he could have I don't know what he could have done. I'm not him, but I am me. Those are the same things, basically. Alright, let's get into game number 2. No messing around here. Oh, sorry, game number 3. This is the game you want to stay around for, believe me. Alright, guys, this is truly a game to remember. Vishy Anand, Boris Gelfand, Gelfand World Championship match 2012. Here we go. The blunder happens actually pretty early in here. Just hang on a second, please. D4. Vishy playing with white pieces. Knight to f6, c4, g6, knight to f3. Knight to f3, sorry. f3. This is very unusual stuff. I don't know if this has ever been played before. Probably has. I think I'll just react with sounds until we get to the blunder. Okay, I can't do that anymore. Knight to h5. So far, both of them are making, normal moves. Bishop to g5. I mean, bishop to g5 is pretty easy to counteract. You can either push the pawn to attack it, or bring the bishop, which is what Anand does. Sorry. Gelfand does. Gelfand is playing with black pieces. Bishop takes, pawn takes. He chooses to take with a pawn. Now queen to d2. f5. E takes, bishop takes. g4. Rook to e8, check. Here. And he's actually threatening this is some good stuff. You might think this is the blunder, but it's not. It is pretty bad, but, he can get out of it. First of all, he trades, which is very nice. And then he goes here. The point is, if you take, it is very bad because you can go here. Right? Don't want to do that. So instead, okay. So queen to f6, g takes, which actually white goes for this and allows the fork. But after queen to c2, here we go. Here's the blunder for black. See if you can get it. Ready? Here we go. I'd even give you another full minute for this one because it's pretty hard.
I'm sick of living with this cloud inside my head, an echo chamber of the worst things that I've said. One-sided conversations getting me nowhere. I'm wasting time sinking in my chair.
Alright, ready? The move is actually queen takes h1. Didn't see that coming, huh? Bet you didn't. On the surface, it makes sense, Free rook. Can't beat that. Actually, white goes queen to f2 and black resigns. So clearly, it's not very good. Why did black resign? I do know why. Yeah. The point is you can, black has, I think black has got their queen trapped. I think that's the deal. Yeah. Black can't go Can't take. Can't go there. Can't go there. Can't go there because of the knight. Can't take. Yeah. Black has got their queen trapped. That's the point. Yep. That makes sense. I'm pretty short last game. 17 moves and Vichy wins. Crazy. After 17 moves. So yeah, those are the only games I'm going to show you today. Hope you all enjoyed. You can subscribe right here if you enjoyed. Make sure to click this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave any comments you want to below. And if you ever want me to go over games or something, you can just hit me up on chess.com or whatever. Other than that, not much, yeah. Thank you all for watching, and may your mates be merry on the chessboard.